Check this out. So many lawsuits dropped last week. I mean, so many lawsuits that we didn't even have time to look at them all. And we almost let Jamie Foxx slide under the radar. I mean, we touched upon it, but we didn't go into detail. So today, we're going to take a closer look at the case of Jane Doe versus Jamie Foxx. Alright, so a woman who was using the alias Jane Doe filed a sexual assault lawsuit against Jamie Foxx on November 22nd, 2023. In the complaint, which was submitted to the civil branch of the Supreme Court of the State of New York, County of New York, Jane Doe is suing Eric Marlin Bishop, aka Jamie Foxx, Catch, the Catch New York City restaurant, Catch Hospitality Group, and all their affiliates and subsidiaries, along with the owner, Mark Birnbaum, and other staff members of the Catch restaurant in New York City. Now, I'm skipping over the first 6 pages of the complaint, which basically lists everybody that this chick is suing. And I'm letting you know right now, so that you get the gist. This chick is suing 6 pages worth of people. I mean, if you have any affiliation with that restaurant, or you were working in that restaurant on the night in question, you're probably getting sued. Cause this chick ain't playing, and she's going after everybody who might have wronged her at this restaurant. I mean, if you even walk by that restaurant, you might be getting sued right now. Okay, so the one very important thing that is stated in the first 6 pages is this. On or about August 26, 2015, defendant Eric Marlin Bishop, aka Jamie Foxx, was at a restaurant and rooftop lounge and bar located at 21 9th Avenue, New York in the city. So for everyone who's not familiar with New York City, Catch Restaurant is a 3-level 400-seat restaurant in a meatpacking district that serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which includes everything from sushi to steak. And then, at nighttime, they tell all the patrons to take their kids home, and it turns into a party atmosphere. I mean, if you have your kid and you're eating up in that restaurant and the clock strikes 9, they're like, you don't gotta go home, but you gotta get the hell out of here. Alright, so let me see if I can describe this. The first level of the restaurant is like an upscale Red Lobster. And then the second and third levels are a little bit more upscale and snooty than that. And then there's Catch Roof. And that's like upscale dining on a patio outside with a panoramic view of New York City. Source, can you please put up a picture of Catch Restaurant so that everybody can see what I'm talking about? And you know what? As a matter of fact, let me show you this video right quick so that we're all on the same page. And we know exactly where this woman is alleging that Jamie Foxx assaulted her.
Hey, yo, bartender, look. Let me get 100 bottles of vodka, right? 50 bottles of champagne and 60 bottles of killer and put it on his tab. You know what this is? It's Jamie Foxx, the man. You got it, right?
Okay, so now that we all know what the alleged scene of the crime looks like, let's get into the facts of the case. The court document says, on or about August 26, 2015, at approximately 11 p.m., plaintiff and a friend arrived at 21 9th Avenue for the purpose of getting seats at the rooftop lounge and bar. Upon being seated, plaintiff noticed that the defendant, Mark Birnbaum, who's the owner, was seated one table away having drinks with defendant Eric Marlin Bishop, aka Jamie Foxx. Not long after being seated, plaintiff and a friend observed a large crowd growing around defendants Birnbaum and Foxx's table. As a result, defendants John Jane Doe's 1 through 10 began moving the crowd of patrons away, including nearly all of the patrons seated at tables near Birnbaum and Foxx. Despite them being the only 2 remaining in the area, plaintiff and a friend were never asked to move from their table located besides Birnbaum and Foxx's table. At some point near approximately 1 a.m. on August 27, 2015, after many patrons had left the area, plaintiff's friend stood up from the table, walked over to defendant Foxx, and asked if he would take a picture with her and plaintiff. Foxx stated, "Sure, baby, anything for you," and walked to the plaintiff's table. Several photographs were taken. While taking photographs, plaintiff observed that Foxx seemed intoxicated. At one point, Foxx roughly grabbed plaintiff's phone out of her hand and took additional photographs. Foxx then made several comments to plaintiff, including, "Wow, you have a supermodel body. You smell so good. And you look like Nikki." When plaintiff asked, "Who's Nikki?" Foxx replied, "Gabrielle Union." Foxx proceeded to grab plaintiff by her arm and pulled her to the back area of the rooftop. Okay, so now we know that the plaintiff, Jane Doe, is most likely 99.9% black, because don't no white woman look like Gabrielle Union. I mean, for real, name one white woman that looks like Gabrielle Union. But listen, I just had to say that. Now, back to the document. Once in a more secluded area, Foxx placed both hands on plaintiff's waist, moved them under plaintiff's crop top, and began to rub her breasts. Plaintiff was caught off guard and attempted to step away from Foxx. Plaintiff noticed defendant John Doe, a security guard of one of the defendants, some distance away, who saw what was happening but walked further away. Foxx proceeded to slide his hands into the plaintiff's pants and put his fingers on and in her front parts and her back parts. You know exactly what I'm saying. The two parts that you put the tissue on when you go to use the bathroom. And I mean, I can't say it any cleaner than that. Now, as this was happening, plaintiff's friend walked over looking for plaintiff. Foxx stopped touching plaintiff and walked over to where defendant John Doe, a security guard, was standing. And that brings us to bullet point number 43, that says that no negligence or intentional acts on the part of the plaintiff caused or contributed to the said heinous touching and sexual assault of plaintiff. That by reason of the foregoing, plaintiff was injured, was rendered sick, sore, lame, and disabled, was caused to undergo medical treatment and advice, was unable to pursue her usual and regular activities, was caused to undergo great conscious pain and suffering, continues to undergo such, and will permanently be affected by the injuries and emotional distress she incurred as a result of the sexual assault, abuse, assault, and battery. That, as a result of the heinous acts, negligence, and gross negligence of the defendants, as aforesaid, plaintiff suffered and continues to suffer severe emotional distress and anxiety, humiliation, embarrassment, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other physical and emotional damages. Plaintiff is entitled to recover damages from the defendants in an amount that exceeds the monetary limit of all lower courts that would have jurisdiction over this matter, plus punitive damages. This cause of action falls within one or more of the exemptions set forth in CPLR 1602. Now, the next section of the complaint goes on to state Jane Doe's 3 causes of action against Jamie Foxx. I'm just going to summarize these real quick. Her first cause of action is assault and battery, and as per her attorneys, she says defendant Foxx, operating through his position as a well-known celebrity, committed the heinous acts as set forth above. These unlawful actions constitute a sexual assault and battery upon plaintiff, as Foxx intentionally and without consent used force to offensively touch plaintiff's person. Foxx's actions violated Penal Law 130.52, 130.55, and 130.6. Foxx's actions were willful, wanton, and malicious. At all times described herein, Foxx consciously disregarded plaintiff's rights and feelings, acted with the knowledge of or with reckless disregard for the fact that his conduct would cause plaintiff to feel violated, humiliated, would cause emotional and mental injuries to plaintiff, and would result in her enduring pain and suffering. As a result of Foxx's conduct described herein, plaintiff has suffered and continues to suffer physical and emotional injuries, anxiety, distress, embarrassment, and economic harm. The second cause of action, which is more focused on Catch Restaurant and its owner Mark Birnbaum, says that the restaurant should be cited for negligence in hiring, training, and supervision. The complaint alleges that the restaurant and the owner, Mark Birnbaum, along with his managers, supervisors, officers, directors, agents, and/or employees, were negligent in the hiring, training, and lack of supervision, management, control, and retention of their employees, and more specifically of defendants John and Jane Doe's 1 through 10, who were the staff and security who were working on the night of the alleged assault. This cause of action also claims that the agents and/or employees of the restaurant had knowledge of Foxx's propensities for aggressive behavior towards females, the potential for unwanted sexual touching, and his bad disposition when consuming excessive alcohol. Alright, so what she's saying right here is that the restaurant should have known that Jamie don't know how to act when he drinks too much, and he has a history of like messing with women and always tries to
blame it on the alcohol, blame it on the
I swear, these R&B dudes better hope that like the courts don't start treating them like the rappers and like using their lyrics in court to convict them. Cause I'm telling you, nowadays, you never know. They might try to young thug Jamie. I mean, have him up on that stand and the attorney's like, sir, what did you mean by blame it on the goose? Got you feeling loose. Blame it on the Patron. Got you in the zone. I mean, that's where we're at right now. And that's exactly why Fat Joe made sure he went on TV the other day talking about, I lie in like 95% of my raps. He wanted to make sure that he was protected. Okay, so when speaking about the case, attorney Simone Redwine says that the attorneys that are handling Jane Doe's case are actually from the law offices of Michael S. Lamonsoff, and they specialize in car accidents. So, she believes that they really want the restaurant's insurance policy to make a settlement offer and a payout. Check this out.
This law firm that's representing the plaintiff, they are known for going after insurance because they're a car accident law firm. You want to go after the insurance so that you don't end up like Cardi B running around trying to locate Tasha K's, banks in Africa and Egypt and, everywhere around the world. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, anyways, a few days after filing her initial complaint, Jane Doe came back and filed some more paperwork because she requested for the court to continue listing her name as Jane Doe because she does not want her identity known to the public. She said, quote, I do not desire to publicly disclose my identity as a victim of sexual assault because this matter is highly sensitive and I have already experienced significant shock, shame, and embarrassment due to the mental impact of the assault, and I fear retaliation by others in the community for my disclosure due to the prominence and celebrity status of the defendants. This case has already been on every major news outlet and has caused me to fear for my safety given the fame of the defendant. It was very difficult for me to come forward and talk about the events that occurred. The sexual assault that I suffered has caused depression, anxiety, lack of sleep, distress, and I'm fearful that a public disclosure will cause further emotional trauma. I do not want to bear the stigma that's associated with being a sexual assault victim. This is a private and sensitive matter, and I wish to keep it that way. End quote. Well, the court took a look at her request, and on November 30th, they decided that she will continue to be Jane Doe. They're not going to disclose her name. Now, even though Jamie Foxx has not commented on this situation himself, a spokesman for Jamie Foxx said, quote, the alleged incident never happened. In 2020, this individual filed a nearly identical lawsuit in Brooklyn. That case was dismissed shortly thereafter. The claims are no more viable today than they were then. We're confident that they will be dismissed again. And once they are, Mr. Foxx intends to pursue a claim for malicious prosecution against this person and her attorneys for refiling this frivolous action. End quote. You know something? I find this very interesting because in criminal cases, there's a such thing as like no double jeopardy. You can't try somebody for the same crime twice. But apparently, in this case, this chick can keep filing the same lawsuit in different jurisdictions. Check this out.
In the event that this case does, I guess, get dismissed, can this person continue to go after Jamie over and over again, or?
Well, so the way that it works is, right, if this person, so assuming this person already filed a lawsuit and it was dismissed, right, Jamie Foxx's lawyers, when they move to dismiss this lawsuit, assuming they do, they will include in that effort the idea that this was already filed, and therefore she should have to pay for his lawyer fees and she should be sanctioned, right? Because you can't just kind of keep doing this. And then the judge will decide whether or not this was a bad faith lawsuit, right? Whether it was a frivolous lawsuit. Now, if this gets dismissed and that doesn't happen and she files again, now you could use 2 of those dismissals and it'll keep adding on. And eventually, you would hope the legal process would stop that kind of thing, assuming it goes down that road.
Listen, shout out to YouTuber Chronicle Speaks for that information. Now, it's important to note that this is not the first time that Jamie Foxx has been accused of SA, because in 2002, a woman accused Jamie Foxx of slapping her in the face with his Jimmy when she wouldn't give him no sloppy toppy. The case was eventually dismissed when authorities learned that this chick was like lying, and she ultimately ended up getting like charged with like filing a frivolous lawsuit. But even though Jamie beat that case, this case might not be that easy, because yesterday somebody came out and said that they have video footage of Jamie Foxx groping some woman in the club back in 2008, and to prove that they had this footage, they put out a couple of photos of Jamie grabbing his crotch and grabbing his chick, grabbing her tatas, humping her all up on a DJ stand. I mean, Jamie looks like he was in that club going bananas. Okay, so the video footage of Jamie was filmed at Club Mansion in Manhattan in 2008, and the person who recorded the incident said, quote, "I couldn't believe that he would grab a stranger like that. I don't know who she was. It wasn't announced that he was performing at the club that night, so I don't know if he just showed up or if it was a secret arrangement." End quote. Now, even though Jamie Foxx is one of like America's beloved actors, Jamie has never been shy about the fact that he's a very wild dude. And I mean, he often says like some off-the-cuff things when he's doing interviews like this.
But when I got her to the door, I said, "Can I?" She said, "What?" I said, "Can I feel on your booty?" And she was like, "You crazy? Go ahead." You know, it was like unreluctant. Go ahead. You got position, and I went in here like this.
Oh,
you
went
in the crease?
God.
Yeah, but just right here at the top of it. Oh, see, that's the problem with ass. Is that as a guy who loves ass like us, it will get you in trouble.
You got that right. Booty will get you in trouble every time if you dare to touch it without having consent. Now, even though we often think of Jamie Foxx as the nice guy, comedians like Howard Stern have insinuated that Jamie got some stuff going on in his life that he doesn't want any of us to ever know about. Check this out.
Jamie's been on my show many times. I consider Jamie to be a talent. But Jamie seems to want to get into some kind of pissing contest with me.
Yeah, I was like, what is this, wrestling?
Yeah, it's sort of like a weird thing that could get into a really weird area. I know shit about Jamie that maybe won't be so comfortable for him. And there's a lot of weird shit about Jamie. And quite frankly, I'm going to end it now because, you know what? I got a shitload of stuff on Jamie, which isn't a lot of fun. And if he wants to start in with me, even the name Jamie Foxx, it's interesting you chose the name Jamie. I could get into the whole fucking deal.
Alright, so when Howard Stern said that, a whole lot of people assumed that he was talking about the same thing that Cat Williams was talking about when Cat Williams outed Jamie Foxx on stage. Check this out.
I know all the comedians and actors' secrets. Who's gay? Jamie Foxx. I can only say it because I can tell you the name of the dude he fucked. His name is Marcus Anthony. He's the only dude signed to Jamie Foxx's label. Check it out. And then Twitter the dude and ask him to see if he don't say yes. The dude told me backstage at a show and told me I could bring him on stage and air it out. I said, no, nigga, let me wait till I get to LA.
Real quick, let me say this. Whether or not Jamie Foxx gets with men or women is of no concern to me, except for the fact that it may play a role in this lawsuit, because some people are saying that Jamie Foxx's sudden medical crisis in which he almost died a few months ago and these recent allegations are linked, because they're saying that these two things are nothing more than an attempt to assassinate Jamie, and since that failed, now they're trying to assassinate his character, because they want to shut him up, because Jamie allegedly has information on some of the most powerful people in the industry, and if he reveals what he knows, he could potentially destroy many key players and power brokers, including P. Diddy, especially since Jamie has said several times that he used to like video record Diddy's parties in the past. Remember this?
I was throwing these parties at my crib, and I would always throw parties for like musical guys, you know, so I threw a party for Puff. Puff comes and big party, it's like 2,000. Puff is there,
and it's all about him. And I'll never forget, he got mad at me a little bit because I would follow him, and I would actually follow him with a camera, because at that time Puff was the biggest guy in the world. You know, you couldn't even get in his parties. So the way I would get in his parties, I show up with a camera, like, yo, Puff, you need to document this shit. And he turned around, what's up, Playboy? I said, yeah, let me get that, man. Ain't nobody getting this. And it wasn't back in the day with the camera phone. I had the big fucking Canon that you put on your shoulder and the light and the shit. I said, let me change the battery, let me get all this shit.
Okay, so some extreme conspiracy theorists, of which I am not, believe that because Jamie Foxx used to videotape almost everything and he used to follow P. Diddy, he caught P. Diddy doing something he wasn't supposed to do, and Diddy wants to keep that quiet.
Don't y'all find that strange? Another one people that spoke out on Puffy is all of a sudden having a strange reaction to their bodies.
Who was that?
Jamie Foxx. He been talking bad about Puffy and Puffy parties, and then now he got silenced. Woo, that was a strange one to me. I could tell you 3 or 4 other instances with people that came up dead or messed up when they spoke on Puffy.
They also believe that Jamie Foxx might also have footage of the naked basketball games that him and P. Diddy used to allegedly throw, in which they used to invite a whole bunch of dudes from like the celebrity circles, and those dudes would come to the court and drop their drawers and then dribble them balls. And I know, somebody's out there like, Sauce, what naked basketball games are you talking about? I'm talking about these naked basketball games.
I was never going to talk about the Jamie Foxx butt naked basketball games, but since he's talking about it, I'm going to talk about it. Before I do though, everything in this video is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. I have to say that. Also, I value my own life. I'm so serious when I say that. I value my own life, okay? Because Diddy likes to do it. So back in the 90s, my mom nicknamed Jamie Foxx, like if you take the O out of his name and replace it with a U, that's what she used to call him. But to his face is like a haha joke, because he used to bang so many guys and girls in Hollywood. And he used to have these things called butt naked basketball games, okay? He would invite over a lot of like Hollywood's elite to his house for a basketball game, but it was men only. And they would be like, oh, we're just gonna get naked and play basketball. It was like, oh, haha, let's get naked and play basketball together, which is weird. And this happened in the 90s. So a lot of your like favorite celebrities were there, including someone who may or may not been married to someone who was drinking that lemonade. If you want to know like who was probably at these games, just look at like who P. Diddy and Jamie Foxx have been hanging around for years, especially the super successful ones. Usher was definitely there. Justin Bieber tried to warn you guys about this. I'm inserting these for proof. So I was talking about this with my friend the other day, and they texted me and was like, weren't we just talking about this? And I was like, what? Here's what the link said. But read what I said in response to that. Yeah. That's why I say I value my own life. Also, I feel like people are going to think that this is just about like black men. It's not. They were not discriminating. A lot of like famous white actors were there too. And side note, I know men that have been invited to the parties that knew about this. Like if people at the radio station knew, like, come on, you think everybody didn't know? And they wouldn't go because they were like, we're not down with that. That's like weird.
The crazy thing is that she's not the only person who spoke about the butt naked basketball games. Check this out.
It was 30 stars there. There was so many stars there, I thought to myself, I don't belong here. They was playing butt naked basketball. Turning up. Motherfuckers playing butt naked basketball.
And Envy said to him, yo, is it true that you play butt naked basketball with other men? He didn't walk out then, but he just like started shaking his leg. He's like, ain't no punchline. You just gonna
Wait a minute though. What about those pictures that showed up?
What?
Didn't you have some pictures of you playing naked basketball?
Beach or something. I don't know. It was young in my career.
I gotta tell you, I do find it strange that when asked about the butt naked basketball, Jamie Foxx never flat out denies that he was out there playing naked basketball. I mean, most dudes would be like, nah son, I ain't never played no butt naked basketball. I mean, if you accuse me of playing hard D up against like Diddy, one-on-one, butt naked, I'ma be like, no, that never happened. my denial would be very firm. I wouldn't be sitting there like, yeah. that happened when I was young. I don't know, Jamie Foxx. That answer was a little sus. And quite frankly, if I believed that these games actually took place, I could actually see how some Hollywood elite might want to delete these tapes or delete Jamie if he has the tapes. But then again, that still begs the question, if you delete Jamie, the tapes are still somewhere out there. I don't know, this particular conspiracy theory seems to be a stretch and it's a bit far-fetched. But you never know, cause it's Hollywood and stranger things have happened in that town. Okay, naked basketball games aside, some other people have speculated that this lawsuit may be part of a bigger setup against Jamie, because Jamie may have had a fallout with some very influential gatekeepers in Hollywood who were working behind the scenes to manipulate and orchestrate his downfall because he no longer wants to be part of their club, which is why they believe he jumped on social media and wrote, quote, "They killed this dude named Jesus, what do you think they'll do to you? Hashtag fake friends, hashtag fake love," end quote. And we all know what Ice Cube said about being part of that club.
Some of you may not have realized that I'm not part of the club. And a lot of you listening to me right here, right now, you're not part of the club either. And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their fucking club. That pisses them off. What club am I talking about? I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with. You know who they are, and they definitely know who they are. A lot of people would be like, what? Who? Come on, man, stop playing.
Look, here's the bottom line. With regard to the sexual assault allegations that have been levied against Jamie Foxx, I don't know who's telling the truth. I wasn't up there on that roof. Maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. Maybe Jamie Foxx likes to get drunk and digit pop random chicks in a club and blame it on the alcohol. Maybe he doesn't. But I will say this, the new video footage of him all up on a chick in the club doesn't bode well for him, and it's not the best look when you've got allegations against you. And it could potentially add some legitimacy to her case. Or maybe all of this is part of a much bigger plot and setup, because maybe Jamie does have some receipts on some Hollywood elites. When you start climbing a ladder and you get up there to them Jeffrey Epstein and P. Diddy levels, things can get a little dangerous. Who knows? I don't. But based on what was laid out in the lawsuit, I do think that Jane Doe is going to have a very hard time proving her case, especially since her first case against Jamie was dismissed in the courts 3 years ago. And also, let's say he did do it, and this thing goes to court. Jamie is such a good actor. I mean, he has played Ray, Mike Tyson. I mean, he's played everybody. This dude is such a good actor that if he got on that stand, he could lie through his teeth and none of us would know. With that being said, somebody is being wronged here. Whether that's Jane Doe or Jamie Foxx, we don't know. But I really hope that we get down to the truth so that the party that was wronged can get some justice. Cause on the real, men can't be going around shoving their hands down women's pants. And women can't just be out there accusing men of doing stuff that they might not have done. Listen, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Jamie should settle this case out of court? Or do you think Jamie should take this one all the way to court and let a jury of his peers decide whether or not he owes Jane Doe a big bag of money? Let me know in the comments. And while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Sauce, your source for celebrity news. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.